Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this very important video is all about the September eclipse of 2024. The September eclipse contains quite a number of special wonder opportunities that we must not miss. There are very, very special energies embodied and maybe hidden away a bit in the September full moon eclipse. Please hear the details and please don't miss the rare and special opportunities as they apply to your life and your sense of yourself. Basically, especially important, there's actually a number of very special key need-to-know opportunities now, breaking out at the time of this eclipse for intuitive development and growth. September is a case of perceive and nurture your own very special talents. Free up your special talents. Promote a personal rebirth. Continue to bring in your area of needed personal revolution. This September eclipse is a time for change and new direction. It is, of course, a time for harvest coming up. And there's loads of harvest going on around here in the west of Ireland. But when it's eclipse time, we also need to realise, to be aware, that we could be feeling sensitive. Our insights can be bigger than breakthrough, but we might not focus on them because we're feeling shaken up. But eclipse energies, yes, are shaking up, but also are renewing. So don't be fazed by the shake-up energies, because there's lots of special potential now. Do the work now and go for it. You see, lunar eclipses stir up deep-seated emotions. They stir up our unconscious and our shadow material and our hidden conflicts. But you see, positively, they're actually catalysts. They're opportunities for spiritual growth and better self-realization. So here to start with are the September eclipse energies in summary. So in a bit more detail, the energies of September eclipse are as follows. One of the energies is an exceptionally long-running one. It actually miraculously lasts until June 2028. It is a very, very special energy created by a talent triangle. So the talent triangle is Uranus trine Pluto, where both Uranus and Pluto are sextile the apex planet Neptune. Uranus, Pluto, Neptune. But at the time of this eclipse, do also be aware of the energy meaning that this talent triangle is actually part of a bigger special chart aspect shape called a kite. If you want to have a look at the chart aspect shapes, the talent triangle and the kite it's within are very clearly shown on my Star Wheel Astrology September 24 month page. It's under the More drop down. Look at the Western chart. It's shown so clearly and powerfully. But also be aware, yes, I said Neptune is part of the talent triangle, part of the kite. It's the apex planet. But Neptune is actually conjunct the dreadful fixed star Shayat in Vedic Pisces. This energy too is part of the talent triangle, part of the Kite, and we'll be going more into the detail of it as the the presentation progresses. But as part of the summary, do be aware that Jupiter is actually T square the eclipse axis. Jupiter is T square the Sun and the Moon. And that puts a very special pressure boost into the energies of Jupiter and our connection to them. This can actually be a call for perfecting our Jupiter qualities, for raising our personal expression of Jupiter closer to the qualities of the divine Jupiter. Also, a very special thing to be aware of is that Lilith is conjunct Ketu, the south node of the moon. So this is definitely a time when we will be called to dive into our unconscious and shadow material, possibly forced to dive into it, although of course we may ignore and reject the call. That would be a shame. And so Lilith conjunct Ketu south node of the moon will release, at the time of this eclipse, material from our shadow and our unconscious and ancestral and past life material. Continuing the summary, I'd just like to mention that Venus energies get better. Venus is leaving Virgo the day after the eclipse, and various other things help Venus. Hear about these later on. The next summary point is that this eclipse needs to be treated as your needed revolution, as my needed revolution. We need to note that this eclipse is part of a long-running, intuitive divine connection and personal transformation energy opportunity. It's almost like a death and rebirth opportunity of some important scripts in our life. Here's Lord Shiva Nataraja dancing things into death and into rebirth. In fact, you can see that what he's dancing on is a little creature who's said to be glad to have the god dancing on top of him. And this is the demon of ignorance, Aparasmara. So this is Shiva energy. It started when Mars in the heavens entered Vedic Taurus and conjuncted Uranus, but also conjunct fixed star Algol, a terrible energy. But we need terrible energies. Vedic astrology encompasses tantric dimensions, which involve not just nicey things connecting us to the divine, but awful things and awful events also being potential connectors to the divine, if only we can see how. Mars went into Vedic Taurus, and on the 14th of July conjuncted Uranus, but then Mars went on, and on the 14th of August conjuncted Jupiter, bringing expansion, blessing and sense of purpose to the revolution. The revolution energy is still running. This eclipse is an important energy context for us to get rid of our negative scripts of behaviour, of sense of self, and bring in the needed revolution to become more who we were meant to be, more in connection to the divine. In fact, this is, of course, a time of harvest. Yes, it's autumn equinox. The farmers are working, my God, 12-hour days and more, all around me as I speak. Last point in the summary, there's a lot of retrograde planets at the time of this eclipse. So be aware that retrograde energies force us, call us to tie up the loose ends and to finish unfinished business in our life and to fulfill unfinished karmic necessities and pressures. Okay, having done the summary, here's the eclipse's astrological detail. So here in Ireland, the eclipse is the 18th of September. It's the 17th of September in the USA. Moon is at 1 degree Vedic Pisces. Sun is opposite at 1 degree Vedic Virgo. So this is using the sidereal zodiac of Vedic astrology, which essentially is life, fate and destiny orientated. It's star orientated. In the Western tropical zodiac, then the eclipse is Moon at 25 Pisces, Sun at 25 Virgo. And the Western tropical zodiac is essentially orientated to the expression of our psychological self and description of that. Why is that? Because it's anchored to the position of the sun on the day of vernal equinox. So being sun sign based, it's more about our egoic psychological self rather than our fate and destiny and life purpose self, as in the case of Vedic sidereal zodiac. Now then, let's look at the eclipse in terms of the nakshatras the sun and the moon fall in. The nakshatras are the supremely wonderful declaration, the 27-sign lunar zodiac of Vedic astrology. And the eclipse nakshatras are, well, moon is in Purva Bhadra nakshatra, sun is in Uttara Palguni nakshatra. Let's look at the energies which are the context for the moon and the sun from the nakshatras they fall in. Let's look a bit deeper. Moon is in Purva Bhadra nakshatra, whose symbol is the sword as a weapon, the cutting of our ties to attachments or former life, an energy of death and endings, the journey of death, the journey of rebirth, which occurs over and over again in our life and needs to be worked with and cooperated with, not resisted. Purva Bhadra nakshatra's power animal is the male lion, so don't mess. The energy is achieving liberation. In fact, if you're required to do something that feels dangerous, uncertain, risky, then now is the time. So the sun is, of course, opposite. The sun's in Uttara Palguni nakshatra. Now, it's forceful because Uttara Palguni power animal is the bull, yet it's constantly searching, gentle, romantic and caring. It's the energy of travellers, investigators, researchers. So hear this and utilise those qualities to the full as you're observing what's going on in your sense of self and what you're doing and what you're bringing to death and bringing to birth at this time. So now we come to the talent triangle, which I mentioned, which is actually part of an even bigger chart aspect shape called a kite. But the talent triangle is crucial to look at first. It formed on the 1st of July. Amazingly, it lasts until June 2028. What a long-running opportunity for you to identify the detail of, to cooperate with. You can clearly see the talent triangle in my September month astrology page in my Star Wheel Astrology website. And what it is, Pluto is trine Uranus, and both Pluto and Uranus are sextile Neptune, the apex planet of the talent triangle. So what's its energy? Well, a talent triangle chart aspect shape in the heavens or in your personal chart is a great gift to each of us to develop better spiritual and intuitive perception of the way we live our lives, of the way we define ourselves. And this one is so powerful and long-lasting. And if you work with it, you will improve your intuition now. You will improve your life now, especially if the planets of this talent triangle aspect one of the planets in your natal chart. So let's just look at the aspects in the talent triangle. Well, the first one is Neptune-Pluto. This combination offers us at its best a contact with the supernatural. At its best, it offers us intensified, purified soul life, a high degree of sensitiveness, mysticism, mediumship, occultism, spiritual evolution, death and rebirth through path of vision to connection to the supernatural. So that's Neptune-Pluto. Pluto trine Uranus has the potential for your needed empowerment and needed revolution working together. Uranus-Pluto offers us at its best revolution. Definitely, so many people need to bring revolution to some of their behaviour scripts, their assumptions, their life paths. Uranus-Pluto is the process of transformation. It's creative power. It's pioneering reform. It's bringing new things into being. So you've got to get on with it now, although indeed it runs to June 2028. Well, the next bit is Uranus-Neptune. Well, Uranus-Neptune offers us at its best subconscious powers and inner vision, inner illumination. Basically, Uranus-Neptune has the power to arise in us subconscious powers, inner vision, and embrace the needed different path now in your life with an energy of Uranus-style revolution. Now these three planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, move ever so slowly. So the important must-know thing is that although of course they move through the heavens, they actually keep the talent triangle in existence as they move through space until June 2028. What a supremely wonderful gift for us each to know about and connect to and work with. So at the start it was Pluto at 5 Vedic Capricorn, Uranus at 3 Taurus, and Neptune at 4 Pisces. Okay, so what energies are you personally being offered when they combine like this in this talent triangle chart aspect shape? What do you feel you're being offered? What are you going to do about this wonder gift? You know, we mustn't ignore it. We mustn't stay stuck. We must do the work of intuiting and implementing. please do make a special effort to identify and connect to this particular energy now and in the years ahead. Do the work. Manifest. Don't let this opportunity just be bypassed. I mean, I use, personally, at least once a week, tarot and vision work and shamanic journeying to see, what the energies in my life are. How am I operating within them? What needs to change? Those sort of things. As I mentioned, Neptune is conjunct the fixed star Shéat, and of course Neptune is part of the talent triangle. Shéat is dreadful energy. The more sensationalist astrologers always love to go on when, a planet goes over Shéat, disasters, meltdowns, that sort of thing. But the whole point is, because Vedic astrology is tantric, it really needs to be seen as needed death for needed revolution. And so we have to cope with the experience of meltdown, the breaking of our barriers, the feeling we might be going mad. But through that experience, please realise that Shéat's energy can then support us into rebirth. Remember Lord Shiva, Nataraja, the wonderful dance of death and rebirth. It's serpent energy. There's a snake wrapped round the god. And of course, what do snakes do? They shed their skins. What can snakes do? They can move very fast. So what life areas of yours need revolution now? Well, as I said, that talent triangle is part of a kite chart aspect shape. And a kite chart aspect shape dominates the chart of this eclipse. The moon and the sun are caught up in them. You can very clearly see the kite on the September page in my Star Wheel Astrology website. Make sure to have a look so that the visual impact sinks into you. So the top of the kite is the talent triangle, but what the talent triangle rests on is a grand trine. Sun, trine Uranus, trine Pluto. Think about the combination of Sun, Uranus and Pluto. That's what we're being offered now. And then, of course, there's an opposition energy, which is the spine of the kite, running through the two chart shapes within the kite. And that is Sun opposition Moon, where Moon is conjunct Neptune. My goodness. That opposition joins the grand trine to the talent triangle. Think about it, visualize it, understand it, go for it. I describe the kite and the opposition aspects of this eclipse below. So do the intuitive delving now to work out what dimensions of your persona and your life scripts and life path need the application of this kite energy now, during this lunation and going forward years. Visualize the shape of the kite. You can see it in the Western chart for the eclipse. A kite is very organized and directed. It's fixed structure. It's security. And so, out of feeling, certain things are wrong, blah, 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 work out what your better sense of self and a better way of managing yourself and your future life path should be. Embrace that clear direction, achieve that clear direction in your life now and looking forward. manage the tensions and the fears and insecurities, develop any needed knowledge, any needed extra skills, and throughout that try to radiate calm and perfection seeking. You see, ultimately, a kite chart aspect shape is the gift of harvest. And as I've said, it's harvest time. So the key planet in a chart, the kite chart aspect shape is called the peak planet. It's at the tail of the chart of the kite. In this case, it's the sun. Well, what does this tell us? Well, sun energy is management, focus, masculine energy, shining, vigour, striving for peace and security. So try and embrace this quality as you work with the situations. But the planet at the head of the opposition from the peak planet is Moon conjunct Neptune. What does this tell you to do at the time of this eclipse and going forward? Well, we need to delve into our emotions. We need to develop our intuitions now. We need to select the direction forward which embodies the energies of this full moon eclipse and which fulfills the background energies that I also describe in this video and blog, bringing in the revolution you need, I need, to bring into my life now. Using Moon, Neptune intuitions, craft your project forward. This is the method the heavens tell us we've got to work with. So the tension between the peak planet, Sun, and opposition planet, Moon, Neptune, drives the person to take a clear direction, but using two very different energies to achieve that perception and that implementation. We have to develop some new knowledge. We have to shed knowledge that no longer feels right. We have to strive for our perfection now, so it's an initiation figure. Okay, a little bit more detail on the Jupiter T-square. As I said, Jupiter is T-square the Sun and the Moon. Well, when a planet is T-square, the opposition planets, it's square to both of them, put great pressure on us to get the energy of the T-square planet right. So that is our understanding of Jupiter, our manifestation of Jupiter and its qualities. Now, the divine nature of Jupiter encompasses such things as connection to the divine. I've got a wonderful picture of the divine Jupiter up there. Connection to the divine, higher mind, expansiveness, blessing, sense of purpose, spiritual knowledge and more of it, optimism. But the lower worldly expression of Jupiter can be very different. I mean, I've written a few more things about this in the blog post, but it's pompous, over-formal, display, self-righteous, dogmatism, condescending. You know, people are never like that, are they? By weird coincidence, I'm actually bringing out a video and blog post shortly on the divine nature of each of the planets and asteroids, and I'm starting with Jupiter. You know, I've written the post. I'll be filming it next week. Please watch out for it. Okay, a little bit deeper look at Lilith conjunct the South Node. So Lilith is a crucial to know part of the chart. I mean, I bring Lilith and Chiron into Vedic astrology, into the Vedic divisional charts, for example, each of which say something supremely special about a particular area of our life. And bringing in Lilith and Chiron have absolutely revolutionized the way I personally have perceived, the life scripts that the particular divisional chart describes and states. And of course doing the same for my clients. Such benefit in doing that. Well, as I said, Lilith is conjunct Ketu, the South Node, and Lilith is about what is in our shadow and our unconscious. And we so need to delve into that. You see, we can actually be driven to thought patterns and behaviours because of what's in our unconscious, and we haven't a clue it's there. We just don't know why we are being driven to behave in these ways, to be like this, that or the other. And because Ketu's involved, past life and ancestral issues will also come out. So it's such a special, wonderful time, particularly, of course, if you have the nodes in Virgo, and so, on the Virgo-Pisces axis in your birth chart. And so Ketu in the heavens is going across Ketu in your birth chart, but it applies to all of us. Okay, a special note, Venus gets better, thank goodness. So Venus enters Libra on the 19th of September. And this ends Venus's period of debilitation, because Venus now enters Libra, one of the two signs that Venus rules. But very interestingly, at the same time, Venus is square Pluto. Now, positively, this is an energy which can help you and me to become more empowered in the showing of love. It's the call to sort out any wrong power or control issues in our love relationships. It's love renewal. It's new love. Fascinatingly too, Chiron is opposition Venus in the heavens at the time of this eclipse. So Chiron is in the Pisces Gandanta at 28 Pisces, and Venus is at 29 Virgo in the eclipse chart. Now Chiron is our existential wound. And here Chiron gives a must not be missed chance to heal wounds expressing in love. In fact, it can be very intuitive because Chiron is in the Gandanta. So the three Gandanta zones, the wonder definitions of Vedic astrology, are the transitions from water to fire sign. So Pisces to Aries, Cancer to Leo, and Scorpio to Sagittarius. And they're very difficult energies. You need to know if you have planets there. But they can open you to connection to the divine. Partly, indeed, open you because for Gandanta planet people, this world can be experienced as so unsupportive. Okay, it's the autumn equinox, September the 22nd. That's in Ireland. So the autumn equinox is the peak time for harvest. And I think you've picked up that the energies of this eclipse are so very much about, carrying a harvest forward. The light of the harvest moon enables farmers around here to sort of work late into the night. They're harvesting. Here it's mainly grass, mainly, animal fields rather than crops. But we can identify the harvest we want to reap, starting now, going forward. And we want to give thanks for the harvest we have already received so far. And we need to make strong intentions for completing our harvest. And it might take some years to complete the harvest we have told ourselves we need to complete. So harvest energy is so appropriate now. And the last point I'd make in my sharing of the energies of this eclipse is that there's a lot of retrograde planets. Saturn at 21 Vedic Aquarius, Uranus at 2 Taurus, Neptune at 4 Pisces, Pluto at 5 Capricorn, Chiron at 28 Pisces. We do need to be aware that with so many retrograde planets, this is a time for reviewing. A time for reviewing. It's definitely a time for finishing the unfinished details of the different business issues in our life. It's definitely a time to identify and tie up knots and loose ends. It's supremely a time for identifying karmic requirements that we simply are not adequately completing and dealing with. Okay, so if you want a reading from me, go to my Star Wheel Astrology website and do see the healings offered worldwide by my wife Maggie Pashley. Her website's www.maggiepashley.com. Do see my worldwide dating site for those on a spiritual pathway, if this applies to you, lovestardating.com. Yes, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Michael Conneely. Subscribe to my Star Wheel Astrology blog, starwheelastrology.com. And join our Star Wheel Astrology Facebook page. So I do hope this post will be of great help in many of us putting aside the time to identify what the energies of this eclipse are, where are we at in our issues, and what energies of the eclipse do we need to apply to our sense of self and the things we do now at this time. Some of them for quick change, some for long periods going forward. Okay, so all blessings and all the best. Thank you.